that? No, it's just seeing.
So I just joined.
Hey, welcome back to Bandwagon fans. This is Jeff,
Hey, I'm Jason.
and tonight we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Chapter 12, The Siege. This was an episode directed by Carl Weathers, his first directorial effort within The Mandalorian, although he's got some other TV shows under his belt. And this one, it was fun.
This one, it starts out with him plunking around in space.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so he's got to get repairs going again.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get this out of the way so we can just talk about how much fun this episode was.
Okay.
This is like, out of 4 episodes this season, this is the 3rd episode where it starts off with his ship getting repairs and him abandoning Baby Yoda somewhere.
I think it's just the easiest way to like get them to a situation.
Yeah,
To fill up an episode.
yeah, got to get rid of it.
You can't get straight to Boba Fett or
Yeah.
or the conclusion of that. You can't get straight to Ahsoka. You can't get straight to everything with Mandalore.
So Mando is on his way to a forest planet where he's supposed to find
Ahsoka. Corvus.
Yeah, but he can't quite make it there because the ship is broken. So he goes back to Navarro,
Yes.
and we get reunited with.
That is.
I'm gonna queef.
Grief Karga.
Grief
who's the
Karga.
magistrate now. And you got Cara Dune, who's like the marshal.
The marshal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of back to where we started with season 1.
It kind of updates us as to like what they're up to there on Navarro. Cara Dune's kind of going around
Cleaning house.
There's a
Accosting.
encounter with the Aqualish.
Accosting the ruffians.
Yeah, there's some Aqualish looters that she gets. She retrieves some of the goods from that. But there is something in that scene that was it was a what was it? Mythosaur, I think. Mythosaur skull, the emblem that was above the armor in
Okay.
one of the episodes, they had the crest.
Okay.
And it was missing. It showed like the kind of outline where it was on the wall. And I'm thinking maybe the armor just took it with her. It's the crest that maybe they hang wherever they.
The Mandalorians?
Yeah.
So this bar was probably, so this was an abandoned Mandalorian bar.
It was back from like one of the other episodes where there was a crest.
Okay. So that's cool. So that's one thing this show really does is this is like Easter egg hunt from heaven or hell, depending on your perspective.
And you had space weasels or space prairie dog.
Space prairie dog, yeah. I think there are more prairie dogs than weasels.
Yeah.
And a lot of familiar sound effects.
Yeah, I mean when the Razor Crest was kind of like in space, it was kind of like Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
Parking Mech, like the breakdown.
The breakdown.
Hit the Falcon. Yeah.
They reused that same sound when Baby Yoda was trying to trying to wire up the panel, but couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah,
it was the same sound.
First cutesy scene of
like,
cutesy
in
scene
case you missed it the first time, here's that sound you remember from Empire.
Yeah, familiarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, total familiarity.
But that's not necessarily that's not a bad thing.
No,
I'm poking fun. Yeah, I'm poking fun at it, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to give people what we know, what they know we like.
Yeah.
Right.
So they couldn't fix the ship, so they agree. He's sitting there drinking with the little baby, which is really cute.
Right.
He's taking sips through his helmet. The baby's kind of getting excited when the face peaks. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, but then,
he thought I was going to see him. But...
Yeah, so then they agree to go back to Navarro, and they meet Greef Karga and Cara Dune and Mithra, which was Horatio Sands' character, which we saw was in the first episode, the guy that did Carbon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a reference about how he's still lost sight in his left eye because of the carbonation.
And then, what's the name, Greef?
Greef Karga, magistrate.
Yeah, so he has another side mission for Mando, right?
Yeah, there's some kind of like unknown imperial presence still
on
some base.
An imperial base outside of their green zone, sitting over some kind of a lava flow.
Yeah, it's like they got some kind of thing that's like kind of stopping the lava, like some cooling mechanism to where like it's keeping the base from
exploding. Right. So Greef asked him, "Hey, come with me. Let's go round up these weapons that are here. Otherwise, these weapons are gonna, and this will be the last step in this planet having total freedom."
Well, yeah, because they kind of say that it's like once we get totally liberated, we can make deals with the people. They won't be scared.
It'll be a trade hub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Greef is trying to make his planet a trade hub in the outer. And at this point, they're in the outer rim. But they need the base cleared up. This is for you Elder Scrolls fans. This is the go clear out the rats.
All right, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
But in this case, the base wasn't nearly as empty as they were led to believe.
Well, I mean, now before they go off on their mission, I do want to point out the little scene where they go into the school.
Oh yeah.
Protocol droid.
Yeah.
So we get a harken back. Not only we have a protocol droid who's the teacher, makes total sense.
Right.
All the languages, all the nonsense. There's all the screens that kind of reminisce you to like Echo Base on Hoth.
Yeah.
And
they plunk Baby Yoda down in an empty seat. Makes you wonder why the seat was empty. Fill it from the front, kids.
Sure. But the little boy next to him's like eating like some kind of. I looked it up. It said they were macaroon snacks.
I think it's blue milk. I think it's blue milk candy.
Yeah. So, and of course, he uses little force powers when the head was turned.
Yeah. So the little boy wouldn't share the food. So Baby Yoda just took it upon himself and stole it.
Did you notice one of the girls in the class had the same hairstyle as Rey?
No, I didn't. No, cool. I did not notice that.
Yeah. So little connections. There's other connections later on.
Yeah. But so this is the only. This is the only real complaint I have about this episode, and I've been saying it almost every week. This show, it's not the directing. Carl Weathers actually directed this really well, and it moved fast. But Jon Favreau, his writing right now, he cannot walk and chew gum at the same time, or he won't let the show walk and chew gum at the same time. So this would have been a perfect opportunity while Mando is out doing something. Extend the runtime to 45 minutes, but 50 minutes, and give us some of that interaction of Baby Yoda and the other kids. Because at some point, Baby Yoda's going to have to say his first word, And this would have been the perfect opportunity to see him trying, to interact with the kids.
Sure.
But they're like, nope, we can only have one focus, one scene at a time. So just abandon the baby.
Was it maybe the practical effects? I did notice when Carl Weathers was sitting the baby down at the desk, it did kind of look like he was just sitting a puppet down.
I'm sure. I mean,
I don't know, the limited, maybe they didn't want to take away from being the traditional, aesthetic,
but
but yeah.
I'm
Well,
whatever.
I would have been up for it. This was one episode where it's like, whereas like the first episode of the season, it's like way too long,
Right.
way too drawn out. This was like one where I was like, that was it.
Yeah, same with last week.
Yeah, last week it's like the faster paced episodes were like the shortest episodes.
Yeah, but I want to see more of that character. But one of the best parts of the episode for me was that interaction at the beginning between Mando and the child.
Mm-hmm.
And Mando trying to walk the child through fixing the ship.
Well, also, and you think
as dumb as that plan was,
right?
It was
well, also too, it's like they're so wise to how popular the child is by now. You would think that like a setting with the child and with kids, with using force powers with school, tricking the teacher, it's a natural.
It's a no-brainer.
It
just
does make you wonder.
Serve that up. Serve that up. People want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, also, just a little small note. Before they went into the school, if you noticed in the background, there was a statue of IG-11. Like they kind of made a monument.
No, I didn't see that. I missed that. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See,
there are Easter eggs. There's nuances. I watched the episode twice in a row, so that's what helped.
So this is what's really cool about things like the MCU and Star Wars, where you can have
the Easter eggs.
Yeah, the Easter eggs and it's just world building. It's a lived-in world. It's a universe. But most of the stuff. Okay, but also I'm watching this stuff on my cell phone while I was driving.
Anyway, the teacher, I did want to point out the teacher in the background. If you have like a keen ear, which the second time around I was listening, made references to the 5 major trade routes. Made reference to Kessel Run.
There was a second one after the Kessel Run. There was a second one after the Kessel Run that I'm not familiar with.
Okay, well I heard Outer Rim. I heard Unknown Territories, which kind of a call into like the Disney movies, and also the Republic's new capital, Sardilla.
Huh. Interesting.
Which is like I think it's something where like they move the capital, so it's no longer on Coruscant.
Right. So which makes sense.
She said the Republic's new capital, and I think I did write it here. I think it was Sardilla. It's probably mentioned in one of the novels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you listen to that, and they did make a point for the droid to give these little references. If you had a little, I wonder
if I wouldn't know this. Maybe somebody in the comments can leave a comment. But I wonder if that's one of the planets that was blown up by the First Order in Force Awakens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I just realized I always just kind of assumed it was Coruscant, but then I just realized Coruscant was in the last Rise of Skywalker, so it couldn't have been blown up. So now I wonder, anyways.
Yeah.
We digress. All right. So knocks aside about the lack of Baby Yoda, once we got to the Imperial base, things got really fun. And this was like classic old school Star Wars.
Oh, and we heard the Dank Ferric.
Oh,
which is kind of like their version of MFR, if you will.
Oh, I didn't.
It's slander.
I
looked that up, and I'm like, has people been talking about that? Because it's been mentioned in a few episodes, and it's like Bantha Fodder.
Okay.
It's one of their little,
There was, and I forgot.
But yeah, Cara Dune really shined in this episode.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think you got a little more personality out of her.
A little more. I think okay. She's fine. It's kind of just like she either is smiling or scowling. There's not really much depth. Anyways. But she's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I did see one headline right before we started recording. The headline was Star Wars just gave Cara Dune Gia Carrado a way out. So, but we'll circle. Remind me to circle back around to that point as we talk about
okay. So anyway, they're trying to get into this place. They're using Mithril. They brought him with, and he's kind of telling them he'll take some years off of his
sentence,
if they help him try to get in. Meanwhile, the Mandalorian, they're really exploiting the whole jetpack thing in this series. They're really getting it out of their system.
Yeah,
so,
which is good. It's there.
So I love it.
It's stupid not to use it.
He flies up there, and then a few seconds later, you see a trooper fall down, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's when Mando realizes that there's quite a few stormtroopers on this base. It's not an abandoned base.
So actually, they go in and they realize that it's not what they originally thought it was, because they see a big surprise.
What? So I don't remember the name of the. Are you talking about the ship they found?
No, I'm talking about the Doctor Pershing.
Oh yeah, that was later though, wasn't
it?
Okay. So they get into the base and they realize that there's a lot of troopers there. They realize it's an active base.
Mm-hmm.
They take a few stormtroopers out, and then they find the recording, and that's when they first realize that Moff Gideon is still alive.
Yeah, but that's the scene too. They see the clone. They see the.
I don't think they see the clones though, because
they do.
Yeah, you're right. They see the. That's right.
And then the Malians learn. Well, this is an old.
I was mixing it up with the very last scene with Moff Gideon. But so these bodies are inside. The bodies are inside the fluid,
which is definitely some kind of lead in
to a clone. Yeah.
Something that will eventually be Snoke, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eventually down the way. But there's something else at the very end of this episode that I think these clones are linked to. That's more, that's a lot sooner than Snoke or any of that. So, but we'll get into that with the very end.
With Moff. Yeah.
But So anyway, so they kind of, and I did write down here that the patch that the doctors have were the same patches that the Camino clones in episode 2 had. So it's some kind of Camino.
Okay.
Clones.
Yeah, Easter eggs galore.
Yeah, a lot of Easter eggs.
You got to pay attention. I'm glad there's no test at the end of this.
And the doctor mentioned that the test subjects they were using didn't have the proper M count.
Midichlorian.
Everybody, of course.
Yeah, so they're trying to clone.
Why they need the child.
They need the child to clone Force
because
users.
I guess there's been unsuccessful clones that have been failures because the subjects they used may be some surviving Order 66 Jedis.
Yeah.
Who knows what? They said the count wasn't high enough, so you never know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much going on in this thing, but we just get little.
Well, that's it. The 37 minutes. I mean, this is an episode that could have been probably like 70 minutes with everything involved.
Yeah.
If you're including the school stuff, that they could have taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I guess they halt the process they're using to freeze the lava.
Yeah, they in a scene straight out of Star Wars, straight out of A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
They send with Mithril. Yeah. They have him go out on the tower to shut the thing down.
Yeah, and he even makes the comment about there not being a guardrail.
Yeah.
I liked that. I thought it was funny. Remember in the Family Guy where they?
I saw.
It's like all I'm asking for is a guardrail.
Yeah.
No health plan, whatever.
That's funny.
Something like that. But yeah, so they end up because he ends up making a comment that they could have used the troop transport for scrap that's worth a lot of money. So how it ends up is they actually end up taking the troop transport to get away. And that harkens back to Troop Transport is one of the original trilogy toys.
Right.
That came out in
that was never actually in the movie.
It was on Echo Base, actually. The only time you ever saw it in the film at all back in the 80s was Echo Base. Ironically enough, the Rebels had it.
Okay, yeah.
But it's an Imperial Troop Transport. But the only time you ever saw it in the original trilogy was when the Rebels were using it. But anyway, so you have that. You have speeder bikes, biker scouts, TIE fighters, TIE fighter pilots, 80s gadgets, 80s sounds, Atari sound effects.
Yeah, all the
whole nine, everything that makes you think of the New Hope, the Death Star run.
The Death Star run, and also when they escaped the Death Star, all the sound effects from the Millennium Falcon outrunning the TIE fighters or shooting down the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
All those sounds were reused.
And you had the great dogfight scenes. There was the epic where you got up, and what's so great is you did utilize the child in that doing this kind of roller coaster thing.
Yeah.
And then he ate up the rest of his cookies, and he threw up on himself.
Yes. So again, Mando used his jetpack. Once they realized when they saw the hologram of the doctor, they realized that the child was in jeopardy. So Mando sped back to get the child out of the classroom, although we didn't see that. And then that left Kara and Grief and Mithril to escape with that speeder.
Yeah. I mean, even in the scenes where Carl Weathers was shooting at the TIE fighters, you thought of Luke.
Yeah.
And the Falcon.
Yeah.
And Han.
Yeah. And then they're able to take out a couple. They're able to take out the speeder bikes. They're able to take out a couple of the TIE fighters. But then right as they're about to get back to the town and probably get destroyed by a TIE fighter, then, the Razor Crest arrives, saves the day.
Yeah,
Kind of
right
like
there, just like the Falcon.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like the Falcon.
Yeah, it's like, I think he even had the light shine from the sun and everything.
The ship is finally fixed.
Well, I like the way he went up
Yeah.
and then dove down and just went through
Yeah.
the TIE fighter like that. It was really cool.
That also reminded me of, what was it, issue 32 of G.I. Joe?
There we go.
The Rattler egg and the Sky Striker.
Yeah, man.
I think it was 32.
I think it was.
Yeah. So
But, okay, so after that, you kind of like, he doesn't land back in, like, rendezvous with him. He kind of just like, hey, I'm gone. I
yeah,
have to do some more touch-ups with the ship before I'm on to the next mission, the next favor, the next checkup,
and for
the next
once,
breakdown.
his ship is fixed.
Oh yeah, it looks
Although
good.
it does have a tracker on it now.
So, okay, so I guess in all of that aftermath, you had, I wrote down his name, Captain Carson Teva, who is referred to as Blue by Cara Dune, so I'm guessing it's like gold or red. He's just Blue Team, But, so he's asking Grief Karga pretty much what happened with the base, and Grief's just kind of like giving him the runaround. Hey, if you care so much, come out here and we can more checks if you want to come out here.
Yeah,
If you want to bother, kind of blowing him off. But then he kind of stops with Cara Dune, kind of, says that he knows that she's, former.
Alderaan from Alderaan.
Well, yeah,
and a soldier.
she's from Alderaan, but she's.
Did
a
we
former
know that
soldier.
before?
No, we didn't know that she was from Alderaan.
Yeah, okay.
No, that
I
was
didn't
like a
think so.
revelation.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she said that she lost everyone during that when the planet exploded, and he leaves her with like kind of a badge.
Yeah. So it was
something to
a
identify her.
it was not Rebel, New Republic.
Yeah.
Like a New Republic badge or
Yeah.
crest or something.
Because he asked like if she wanted to come back, that they needed experience, pretty much a few good men.
And I think that's the headline I mentioned earlier. That's what they were referencing. This is the out for Gina Carano. If Disney decides to move on from her, this is their way. She's they rose Tika her. She's off on another mission
Hey,
somewhere.
if you ask me, this whole show is headed towards Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, and Luke Skywalker, and nobody but, all these original characters, like by season 3, it's going to be just like Star Wars the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll see, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, the ending, they get a message from one of the people that repaired the Razor Crest saying that he put a tracking device.
And you knew. So that was telegraphed. Like, if you've ever seen a Star Wars movie,
Well, it's just like 4 again. It's like they're tracking us,
You
not
saw-
this ship, sister.
as when Mando first arrived at the town, and Grief said, "Hey, go, fix this ship up really well." Just the look on that alien's face was like, yeah, he's gonna put a tracker on there. He's bad.
And it looks, I guess, looks like the same species that was responsible for killing Rey's parents. The person that put the tracker device.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a link there, if the species were just known cooperatives or not. But, yeah, so she gives the message to Moff Gideon. He says that he'll be ready, that they're ready.
She being an Imperial officer.
Imperial
Star
contact
Destroyer.
communications officer.
Yeah.
I actually did try to look up the name of the character, couldn't find it. There was no name of the
I
character.
also wanted to. I forgot to look up the name. The actress looks really familiar.
Yeah, she does.
So
Yeah, she does. So anyway, it kind of ends with it kind of panning out. You see along each wall side of Gideon there with a bunch of mist and steam. You see what I'm assuming, and this is just because I'm familiar with the Dark Empire comics from the 90s. I'm assuming these are Dark Trooper Phase 2 And so if that's true, I'm wondering if these initial run of clones is some kind of force-sensitive clones they want to suit up in this troop armor to make, because the armor itself, I need to point out, in the comic book was lightsaber resistant. So it's what they look like. They look like kind of the Phase 2 Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that they want a clone army that's force sensitive, that has armor that can defend against, because there's got to be something. It's got to lead to something where they know that there's a lot of Order 66 survivors. Maybe they're very much aware that there's still force presence out there that needs to be dealt with. But the fact that they want this trial still leads you to believe that the species of Yoda,
Yeah.
it is an extinct species.
Yeah, I really wish.
Because of that, the M count, how they made the remark they need a child.
Yeah, I wish we had gotten a better look of those clone troopers at the end.
I think it's on purpose. They don't want to spoil it.
Because what's coming to my mind right now, and it's probably not the same armor, is the troopers from Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Although that would have been way before this anyway.
Yeah,
never mind.
Never mind. Yeah,
never
I think
mind.
there was a difference maybe, but
all this stuff is so out of order, so I do get mixed up sometimes.
But they are going more and more. They're pulling more and more from EU stuff.
Yeah,
they really are. You can tell. So I mean, but you don't know. I mean, it's kind of intriguing. All of this where these clones are going to lead to, and if Moff Gideon is the one kind of, who's ultimately in charge if there's no Palpatine yet back? One who's pulling the strings if it is Gideon.
Well, isn't there wasn't there somebody from the EU that was kind of running things during this time?
Yeah.
Admiral Thrawn, was it Thrawn? Yeah.
See?
So I'm not. So even I'm not.
I'm very familiar with
EU
Admiral
person.
Thrawn, and that's exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Well, we'll see. Probably you're probably right though, but we'll see. We'll
I'd
see.
put money on it.
Yeah.
Because they've already put him in Rebels.
Yeah.
So they have brought him in. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up the episode. Like I said, these last two episodes have been really fun. It's a little frustrating for me that we're not getting more of the B story, more of the character development. And the two best episodes have been really short. But they are the two best episodes, and we're starting to pick up steam on the story.
You are really though seeing how they're laying foundation for other characters to take over.
Yeah, other characters take over, other shows.
You got the Mandalorians now. You got Ahsoka coming in.
Yeah, this is almost like
all that Darksaber story right there.
This is almost Iron Man 2 at this point.
And Scarlett Johansson's good show.
Yeah.
Why not?
I would not mind that at all.
Yeah. She could have been both.
But it does kind of feel like that, where it's like half of it is its own story and half of it is setting up these other stories down the road.
Well, like I say, rumors abound as to who you're going to be seeing by season 3. So we'll just have to wait and see.
So, anyways, I think any last thoughts on this episode?
No, I the last 2 weeks have left me looking forward. So obviously last week I kind of was figuring Ahsoka this week, but they just know how popular that
Episode
is.
8.
Yeah, right. That you're going to get at the very end of episode 8. You're going to get hi, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. It's going to be like the Luke thing at the end of episode 7.
Or the appearance of Boba Fett's feet in season 1.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Was that? I think he was in the background.
And we all knew it was, but yeah, it's probably gonna be like they're gonna make you wait. So
no, the revelation will be 9 because he was in. 8.
Yeah, he's still around. Or Akbar.
Well, they're not good at repairing ships. Those calamari.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they better stick to militaries in general.
Anyways, so that is The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, Chapter 12, episode The Siege. Thanks for watching, and this video will be up forever on YouTube.
Yay.
And I'm Jeff.
Jason.
Get on the bandwagon.
True.
Well, all right. So if I could find the cursor on my mouse, I could shut this off for you guys. But otherwise, you're still kind of watching this.
Hey, Carl Weathers, though, isn't it funny how he went back and forth from like Apollo Creed to like, Chubbs from Happy Gilmore, like when he had the baby,
It actually is kind of.
he was kind of like Chubbs.
This is one of the more annoying technical difficulties I've ever had.
No, this is the extended cut. I'm talking about
Yeah.
how Carl Weathers has two, kind of two settings.